Hello, I'm Jared Taylor with American Renaissance. Last week, I made a video that explained why the United States can never again become a home for whites, the way it was until perhaps the 1950s or 60s. This was not a counsel of despair. As I said, the United States may be finished for white people, but white people aren't finished with the United States. We have options, and we will seize them. I am more optimistic than ever. First, I wasn't saying politics don't matter. They matter tremendously. The next 4 years will be very different from the last 4 if Donald Trump wins the election. A president who promises massive deportations is the exact opposite of one who waved in a record 8 million, or was it 9 million, illegals who are crowding into the country. Immigration is the top issue. It's the top 10 issues for whites. Once we are completely swamped, we'll have no options at all. More of us have to wake up while there is still time to change American history. An American president can only slow the rot, not reverse it. The federal government will never admit that diversity is a nightmare and that whites have been cheated out of a homeland. The government can cut immigration. It can even expel illegals, but it will never reverse white dispossession. It will never let in only white immigrants, strip non-whites of citizenship, or tell them to leave. No federal government will ever deliberately try to make America white again. The only remotely possible thing the feds might do, again, only remotely possible, is recognize that most people, including white people, want to be around folks like themselves. That's already fine for BIPOCs. The feds don't try to integrate non-white neighborhoods. They don't tell Hispanic-owned companies to hire white executives. No one says black or Asian churches need white members. Nobody says that 55 years of Miss Black America is enough, especially since there have already been 9 black national Miss Americas beginning in 1984. And in 2019, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss America, the big 3 pageants, all had black winners. If government, media, and society recognize the right to free association, even for white people, it would be a huge step forward towards the only option for us, disengagement. There is already disengagement, of course. Millions of white people live in whitopias, but you shouldn't have to be rich to have white neighbors. And even if you live in Aspen, Colorado, or Chappaqua, New York, there's no guarantee they'll stay white. We have to establish parts of the United States. They can start as small as neighborhoods and then expand, that aren't white only by accident or because they're rich. We need communities that are self-consciously, explicitly white. And that's something we can do. There are not even 1 million Orthodox Jews in America, but they have set up towns such as Monsey and New Square, New York, where everyone is Orthodox. Everyone from the plumber to the drummer and bass guitarist is Orthodox. Orthodox Jews started moving to Monsey in the 1940s, and now it belongs to them. Good luck trying to buy a house there. It's illegal to discriminate, but houses change hands only within the community, so outsiders never know they're for sale. Many people have built communities. In the late 1970s, Jim Jones got more than 1,000 followers to move to the South American country of Guyana and live in these shacks, for heaven's sake. It was not a happy ending. More than 900 people drank poison and died. In the early 2000s, a guy named Dwight York got 500 blacks to move with him to Eatonton, Georgia, where they built this weird compound dedicated to York's fake religion, in which he was the Messiah. Everything fell apart when York was sentenced to 135 years in the big house for child molestation with all the trimmings. My point is this. Yes, it's a big commitment to move house, to be part of a community. But if Orthodox Jews can do it, and cuckoo whites and blacks can do it, sane whites can do it. Would there be opposition? Of course. But you'd start discreetly and attract people by word of mouth. Once the community got a reputation for being white supremacist, do you think goofy liberals or hopped-up BIPOCs would want to move in? No chance. They're terrified of us. They think we're all homicidal cross-burners. A few dozen committed white families could find a promising place, attract more like-minded people, and take over the town government and school district, and become a model for other communities. White people are building communities even where they have no chance of taking over. There are networks for helping each other with homeschooling, carpentry or plumbing, babysit each other's children, celebrate marriages and childbirths, just get together for fellowship. I was invited to speak at the Christmas party of a group like that. There must have been 300 committed white people reveling in the joy and camaraderie of being with their own people. Last year, we published a series of articles by a group of young men who are, in their words, reforging America by not only building new groups, but infiltrating organizations with waning memberships, but rich with assets that can serve our cause. Politics can be white advocacy. Every local Republican Party has countless volunteer jobs going begging: precinct captain, district chair, county and state committees. If you have the time and commitment, you can work your way into a position of responsibility. People who do this tell me that Republican activists are so fed up with critical race theory and open borders that they are more open than ever to racial politics. We can expect breakthroughs anytime. Remember, back in 1989, David Duke was elected to the Louisiana State House despite a massive media campaign against him. In 1990, he ran for the Senate, a statewide race, and won 43.5% of the vote. This despite the fact that until Donald Trump came along, David Duke was surely the most hated man in America. And in the last 30 years, the number of white people who understand race has grown tremendously. There could be racially aware candidates in any strong Republican constituency. Earlier, I said I'm more optimistic than ever. Why? Despite the relentless censorship, I'm still not on X. The AmRen website is more popular than ever, and we are now just one of many first-rate white advocacy organizations. When I put out a print magazine, the largest number of people I ever reached was 4,000 subscribers a month. Now, AmRen reaches tens of thousands of people every day. And thanks to social media, countless other people speak out for whites. There must be literally thousands of X accounts that blast the double standards, highlight race differences, and promote white interests. Independent publishers release new titles all the time. Clever memes that make our points are everywhere. The richest man in the world retweets what may be the most subversive idea of all. The mainstream media can never be trusted. And then there is racially aware live streaming, something I don't even know how to do, which is also extremely influential. We are at a tipping point. We can be more effective than ever. Millions of whites are confused and angry. They never thought they would be cast as the villains of American history. They never imagined their children would be taught to think that they are, because they're white, born to be oppressors and can't even help it. They see where this country is going, and they don't like it one bit. Many need only a gentle push. Maybe a clear explanation of race and IQ, or crime rates, or just the reassurance that their deep feelings about race are not wrong, that they're natural, normal, and healthy. But my greatest source of optimism is the wonderful young people coming into our movement. Wherever I go, I meet impressive, successful young men and women who understand the crisis we face and are willing to work hard for our people. And when I say impressive, I mean it. By the time they're in their 20s, they know more than I did when I was in my 40s or 50s. Some of them will go on to greatness. They will build our new home on this continent. What an exciting time to be alive, to know how much is at stake, and to be willing to fight for what you love. How I envy these young people their youth. This is a time of tremendous ferment. Anything could happen, anytime. No one can predict how the pieces of the white Renaissance will fall into place, but I am certain that they will. Thank you for watching. The censors hate my videos. If you like this, and I hope you'll send the link to a lot of people. I invite you to visit amren.com, AMREN.com, where you will find videos, podcasts, discussions, many things I think will interest you. But again, thank you very much for watching.